Hi there, and welcome to part 3 of this video series on connecting with the divine realm and the planet Earth at the same time. And part 2 we've just discussed a practice that has worked out for me, and it was a breakthrough moment that has occurred in my life when it comes to your meditative state and wanting to connect with the universe. And I hope you found some of those practical tips that I have shared useful and inspirational. So now we're all about part 3, which is receiving messages from angels and archangels and all the beautiful spirits that are here with us. Now, because we talked a lot about crystals and imagining the crystals at the core of planet Earth when you're trying to connect with her, I was thinking, well, I've got plenty of crystals here in front of me, but I thought I might as well grab this crystals book and card deck out for part 3. And just to see and be open and receptive to any messages that will come through. So please share any messages you might have as to maybe what kind of crystals to picture. So here's a message: what kind of crystals we can imagine when we try to connect to planet Earth. Are there any that are more likely to get us to where we need to if we imagine that we're connecting to them, and if you have come through? And likewise, let's have a think if there are any crystals here in the physical world, in planet Earth, like for instance the ones on the table, or there are many other crystals out there that may help if you have one of those, or you use one of those and you place it next to you, or a particular body part. Is there any that might actually help? Not like this one to come through. Are there any crystals that might help you with this particular practice of connecting to the universe, to the divine, and to planet Earth? Is there anything in particular? Here we go. Anything else? Just the last amount. Okay, these two have come through. Alright, dear team. So the first question that I posed was all about: are there any particular crystals that we could picture or visualize during that part when we're connecting to the heart of planet Earth and you're establishing that connection? And what has come through is amber. So amber is a lovely crystal, golden orange color. And the words that come to mind, or something you might be kind of visualizing or saying out loud or in your mind: harmony, home protection, calm, and attracts love. I love that. So amber. Then we've got the card of celestite, and it's this glorious blue crystal. Communicating with angels, tranquility, good fortune, deep meditation. Right on the mark, right, in terms of the subject matter. So you might be reaching out in your mind to communicate or connect with any of your angels, your guardian angels, through the practice of deep meditation, right? Because that practice allows you to do that. Now we've got a titanium rainbow quartz, and the beauty of this, it's just a rainbow colored crystal, right? And the message that comes through when I see this is, the truth is, you can imagine and visualize whatever crystal you want, right? Because the rainbow encapsulates all the frequencies and all the energies of a variety of colors, and what they truly are just light, right? Light in different frequencies. So whatever you imagine, whatever kind of crystal comes to mind, whatever the color, whatever you're drawn to, trust your instinct and you'll know exactly what you should be seeing. And it came as right in the middle of these 5 cards, right? So perhaps that's kind of the heart of the answer from the spirit world today, is that rainbow. Imagine whatever you want. You can even imagine the rainbow quartz itself, or any kind of color or shade you want for a particular stone, rock, crystal. And the words that come through are awakening all chakras, ultimate manifestation, vibrancy, and powerful shift. That's awesome, because as I said, for me it felt like a breakthrough when I realized the power of this meditation and this practice. And yes, it does allow you to awaken all chakras, because when you're connecting, when you're creating those loops through your heart, I actually visualize, the first little part of the loop that comes out of my heart actually goes through my chakras, whether it's up or down. So of course during that practice and you swimming through the cord, through your conveyor belt, you will actually be awakening all the chakras and creating some powerful shifts in your spirituality. Now we've got the air. Air, which is a communication, imagination, independence, and being witty. Now obviously air is an element, it's not a crystal in itself. But I love what it came through because of the fact that it's imagination, and you will feel like you're just imagining things. So this is something that I must say to you. When I did my past life regression, the practitioner pretty much told me, you may feel like you're simply imagining things, but trust that you're exactly in the state that you need to be seeing the things that you ought to see. And trust that your higher self is showing exactly what you need for your highest good. And that it's not simply your imagination, it's not your mind playing tricks on you. This is simply a way for your one part of your brain to kind of go to nap for a little bit or just move to the side, whilst the other part of your mind and your whole self, your being, your spiritual self, opens up and is there for receiving all these messages for your highest good, and trust that they are for your highest good. Yeah, communication is a big one through air, because this is your ability to tap into these realms and other frequencies, is your ability to actually receive a lot of guidance, much more than you would ever have been able to before. And funny enough, I just had a ringing in my right ear. So yeah, be mindful, be receptive to whatever comes to you, any kind of other signs, including like you might be experiencing ear ringing yourself actually during this practice, or other signs, like goosebumps or shivers, or at one point in time my legs felt like they were really, really heavy, like the bottom parts of my legs, the feet, as if I was literally grounded to planet Earth. Like the top part of me was light and it could fly wherever I want like a free bird, yet my legs felt really, really heavy. So yeah, I felt like I was grounded to Earth, because obviously I am incarnated, I'm alive at this point in time. So maybe some of you might feel that. Anything else? Oh yeah, so let's try before I move on to this other card. Be mindful of your own expectations. So it's true, it's good to have intention, but it's good to have certain questions that you might need answers to, or you might want to be, delving in a particular world or realm or seeing particular beings. But trust in whatever comes, because it's true, your highest self, and your angels and archangels and all the beings that are with you during that moment and are connected to you, they might actually reveal to you what you need most at that particular time. So if you feel like there's a bit of a mismatch between what you're asking, what you're receiving, when you kind of come back and you get grounded, don't hesitate to write these experiences down. Draw some illustrations, some symbols, words that come to your mind. Because eventually, after a couple of days or later on, you might actually have a bit of an aha moment, because then you will see what the messages, what's the symbols, what actually trying to show you, and it might be slightly different to what you intended to see or what you wanted to see. And the last one we've got here in this pile is the Aragon star clusters. Once again, a more orangey brown type crystal, something you might want to see. It says earth healing, grounding, stress relief, and vitality. And of course, through this practice, you will be connecting to the ground, heart of planet Earth. And by having that connection, I'm sure there'll be a lot more vitality coming into your life, relief of stress and anxiety, and any other healing that you may require through the energy of connecting with planet Earth and receiving some abundance and goodness back, that kind of energy back through to you. So I'm just gonna pause there for a moment before I step into the cards that were here, which was the other question that I posed. So just bear with me for a second, please. Alright, so the question that I posed was, are there any crystals, right, like the ones here on the table, that one may want to use to help them get into this meditative state in the practice that we discussed? The color that the crystal that came through is turquoise, which is all about leadership qualities, clear communication, prosperity, and success. So the one that stands out is obviously clear communication for me, because I suspect turquoise might actually be assisting you with getting, just tuning in that radio channel to the right frequency in order to get as clear a communication as possible. So if you have any turquoise around, just you might want to hold it in your hand, or you might want to have it next to you. You might want to put it on your heart. Now, and you can do that with any of these crystals, by the way, the ones that we mentioned today, or there might be other crystals that you have in your life that you might be drawn to do that during your meditative state, right? So, just this is, I don't want to feel like this is the only answers. I trust that you know, and you will follow your own intuition to lead you to the crystal that you may need to help you out. And I'm not reading out the messages from the crystals guidebook. There's a lot more information on each of the crystals in this guidebook, but I'm just mindful of the time. But the truth is, any of these ones that I mentioned, you can Google them and you can find out the meaning behind them, or how you can use them to your own advantage. And if I don't mention a crystal, but you've got like an amethyst or whatever in your house, and you might want to use that, and you might not have much information on that crystal, Google it, and specifically, is it good for meditation? If so, how can I use it? Do I hold it in my hand? Do I put it in my heart? Do I put it next to other elements, be that fire or water, or whatever it is that they may require to really enhance the energy and the frequency of the experience for you? So another one that came through is pyrite. Sounds like pirate. Good change of fortune, success, renewed focus on leadership. Nice. I love the renewed focus, because that might show you a good change of fortune, the good change part of it. This might be showing that some of you might be inspired to try this practice out, and it's a renewed focus, like it's a different lens at looking at your meditation, at particular practice that you're accustomed to doing. So, or you might be inspired to do this for the first time if you've never done anything like this before. So that's kind of cool. And pyrite might be helpful crystal during your practice. Now we've got this lovely golden topaz. Look at that beautiful color of yellow, which says all about faith, wise action, perseverance, and confidence. And I love that, have faith and trust in the universe to send you the messages that you require at that point in time. Use your wisdom, what's a wise action for you to get into this practice of connecting with your spirit body and allowing the spirit body to do its thing by tapping into all these other visuals and audibles and other senses that it may actually have, and as part of its design and its abilities, compared to the physical body that has limitations and restrictions by design as well for planet Earth. Persevere, because obviously this will require practice over and over and over again. And since I've had my breakthrough, it has become much more easier for me every time I do it, because there are certain go-to visualizations that are already inherent with me. There are certain beings that I've seen, so certain messages or certain books or other places that I've seen, so I can just instantly go to those places now at much a quicker pace. And then we've got the shungite here, which is a sort of like a charcoal grey color. And it's protection from modern ills, grounding, everyday healing and purifying. And I love that, because I think we all need a bit more grounding in our life, and that's the connection to planet Earth, purifying and healing, also through connection to Earth, but the divine, being able to get that sort of spiritual healing, divine healing. And connection just might feel like you belong. That sense of belonging, a sense of home as well, as if you feel like you're coming back home, or you've just been on a trip to your home, this cozy, comfortable, vibrant place. And protection from modern ills. This is interesting. They can feel literally, physically. It may help you from getting ill, physically sick, or protection from modern illness. Other things I'm thinking about is more on mental health related, perhaps, or emotional disbalance or issues there with your feelings and sensations, because some of the things in our modern society and planet Earth kind of challenging you and tackling not just the physical health, saying COVID, but there's lots of mental illness out there, mental health related issues that people are experiencing at different points of time in their life. So going within and tapping into your spiritual power, your spiritual world, and connecting with the universe, and using this practice or any other practice that you might be more comfortable with, perhaps is showing that it can actually help you protect from those sorts of more modern related illnesses that are out there. Not to say that those illnesses haven't existed before. Of course they must have existed before, just that now we have a more globalized society, we talk more about it, and we have more information about those sorts of things. So yeah, take that with a grain of salt in terms of what modern ill might mean to you. I'm just sort of saying out loud what comes to me and what I'm drawn to say. Now, is there anything else we want to do? So I've done the crystals. I might just get some intuition and energy spirit oracle cards to finish up and wrap up part 3. So I'll go to the intuition deck first. Might just have a sip of water. Right, alrighty, my beautiful darlings, spirits, angels, here we go. Did you see how quickly that popped through? Shadow self. Ooh, this is a good one. Might just read that one out. Shadow self, because that just flew out from my hand. Means it's important. Shadow self. Here we go. I think it's going to be important for you guys to hear. Here we go. A time for discovery. Your true power comes from the entire you, including your shadow self. It is time to see yourself fully, both the light and the dark, and to acknowledge who you really are. All of you, even the parts that you keep hidden. This is an inward journey that you must take all on your own. Embrace the darker side of you, the faults, the flaws, the edginess, the craziness, the dark thoughts. All of these aspects are as much a part of what make you truly amazing and unique. Stop denying the wholeness of yourself in order to please others. Facing our shadow self is arduous work, and as you step in, your world can seem to unravel. You might find yourself asking, why did I go there? What have I done? But no, this work must be completed in order to embrace yourself fully. There will be light again. You can accept and hold both sides closed. You will be whole. And the signs are wholeness, acceptance, trauma, healing, and ego. And I love that I can see exactly why this has popped through during this topic, because you will feel whole. Remember, there's a physical body and then there's a spiritual side to you, which is what you truly are. There's multiple sides to us that make us us and unique, the individuals that we all are. Embrace the wholeness, and I truly hope that during this practice of developing your own spirituality and tapping into your abilities to connect with the divine and the planet Earth, you will actually feel more whole, more healing will come into your life. The ego part is the personality part, so tap into more, through the practice, into the spirituality of you, not the personality, but the spirituality, the spiritual part of you, and you might actually start feeling more whole. And another thing that came through was some of you might feel like you're in a spiritual closet still, that you're not able to come out and share with the world what your spirituality means to you. So perhaps this practice might encourage you to embrace and accept the spiritual part of you, and go ahead with this practice, do more of it. Ask for some signs about what's the best next step for you to be able to come out of your spiritual closet and share the wonderful talents and gifts with the world and the ones that you love. Yes, I thoroughly thank you, intuition, thank you, spirit, for that message. I think it was just on point with the subject matter, what we're discussing today. And I'm just going to get one more or a few more cards that pop through from the energy and spirit oracle on the subject of connecting with the divine and planet Earth at the same time. Oh yeah, so the visual I'm getting now is, it's like layers, right? So we've got the divine, we've got the planet Earth, or the heart, which in my world is in the bottom, and you're kind of in the middle, in your heart in particular, because it becomes the focal point of the two loops. You're in the middle, so it's like the top, the middle, and the bottom, and they're kind of layers. I don't know why I had to mention that, but it just feels like you're in the middle of it all. You're having this experience, a human experience, being a spirit, but yet being in this realm on planet Earth, you're able to connect with both. And with planet Earth, right, you're actually digging deeper. You're connecting with her heart, and you're not just, walking on top of her. You're actually going much, much, much deeper into her heart. Receiving all the abundance and the beautiful energy, the untapped energy that you may have never experienced in your life prior to that point in time, by intentionally exercising your freedom of choice and actually going there. Alrighty, so there we go. Energy and Spirit Oracle Guidebook. Do you have any messages for us as to, is there anything else that the wonderful audience, the other loving souls, need to hear about the practice of connecting with the divine and the planet Earth and her beautiful heart? Is there anything else? Yeah, something that came through. Just because you might not have any crystals in your life, don't feel like you have to all of a sudden rush and get some, because otherwise you're not going to succeed. That's not true. And the breakthrough moment in my life and a lot of my meditations, I don't usually use crystals, so it's not, you don't need it. It could help you, but you don't need it. So don't go spending money on things if you don't have that already in your life. Excuse me. So they came up, freedom. Wow, look at that. Beautiful dove has just opened the gate from its cage and was able to flourish. I love it, because what I see, this representation on the image is dove. The dove is who we truly are, the spirit. And the cage perhaps is a little bit of the physical body, right? Because it's a vehicle. By design, it has certain limitations and restrictions. And I love this, because I think, through the practice of tapping into the divine, connecting with the heart of planet Earth that we discussed in part 2, you might freedom. Number 4, and the words that I hear are moving on and letting go. I love that. I will read the message from the guidebook, because I think this is another lovely message. And thank you, angels and archangels. Thank you, Spirit, for sending these absolutely top-notch messages during this video series for the audience. So here we go. This card should reveal a time of new freedom, perhaps involving a recent breakup or some sort of energetic disconnection. This may be the dismantling of a romance, friendship, or family relationship, or even a job or career. Whatever the experience, the present energy is saying the moment has come to let go. Any type of separation can be difficult, even if the break is initiated by you. The grief and lifestyle adjustments can feel overwhelming, but this card is telling you to take heart. This is the right time for you to free yourself from what's been holding you back. In fact, this card could be signaling emotions of liberation and great relief. You could be on the cusp of something very beneficial, such as the resolution of an ongoing problem or the healing of a long-term illness. Either way, call on Spirit's guidance, for a great shift in consciousness is about to take place. Trust that you have the ability to move on and create an exciting new reality. And the affirmation is, I choose to follow my honoring options. As I let go of the old, I attract many new happy experiences. And that is just absolutely wonderful message. I love the intention behind it. Is things might be a little bit gloomy in your life. Breakups, relationships, lack of freedom, something that has dismantled or came crashing down. If you're experiencing any of those bits and bobs, I love it that the next thing here is you are able to take proactive steps. You're able to exercise your free will to actually help yourself on the journey of letting go and moving on. So it's kind of taking the bull by the horns and running with it And by doing the practice, as an example, that might be the first best step that you can take next in order to let go, in order to move on, in order to help yourself heal. And as mentioned here, call on Spirit's guidance, for a great shift in consciousness is about to take place. If you're not sure, a prayer or addressing whoever it is that you believe in your thoughts or out loud speaking is an act of love in my world, and on this channel I inspire people to do that, and hopefully you are inspired to do that. And so if you're struggling or you're not sure where to begin, or any of these practical tips in part 2 and some of the things we discussed in part 3 are not quite resonating, call on the Spirit's guidance to give you that custom advice, and trust in that advice, whatever comes through, about what you can do to help yourself. Alrighty, with that in mind, please like and consider subscribing to this channel if this content resonated with you. On this channel we talk all about universal laws and practicing love, because I just love talking about these things and receiving messages from the divine and all the help that we get. Now, I did make a commitment to donate 22% of my income as the loving soul, aka Victoria, to sorry, I just got distracted because my candle went out. That means that it's the end. Commitment to donate 22% to charities and noble causes. So you watching these videos right until the end and all my other videos is already a huge boost and help in itself. But commenting and liking and sharing the content and ultimately utilizing it in your practice, I hope brings you lots of joy and happiness and love to your life, and it will help me as well as so many others out there, because as I mentioned, I want to donate 22% of my income so that the people who need that love most get it as well, so that together we multiply that love. So with that, I hope you all have a lovely day. Hope you get inspired and encouraged to have a go at the practice that we discussed, and I'll see you in my other videos. Bye now.